based on last year's survey. And the MD was generally in the lower zone. There was a couple spots that were expected to be slightly higher, but nothing too concerning based on last year's survey.
But the best thing is always what you see at the site, because there are always hot spots, and they're not totally, all the hot spots aren't identified. So this is a general survey that happens.
And your moth traps, you got them out?
Yes, the Bertha traps are up and the Diamondback monitoring has finished. So I did that at one location. I have 3 locations for Berthas, and so far the numbers have been really low, well below the kind of threshold numbers. So we continue to monitor, and that gets input every week, and they generate a live map across the province for it that anyone can kind of have a look at and get an idea for their area.
What about raccoons? Do we do anything with them?
Raccoons, basically, we have 2 raccoon traps people can rent, but we don't get involved directly with dealing with raccoons.
We have a few down there, and we do have 1 quarter, maybe a half, that they're reseeding because the grasshoppers ate it right off.
Yeah.
Of
Yeah.
Of rape, so they are becoming a problem where the,
Yeah, and the thresholds, you have to look and see and determine where the threshold is for spraying on your property and that, so, yeah. Because it was drier, it probably changed some of the circumstances earlier on with how things were. This rain that we've gotten now will hurt them a little bit, depending on what stage of development they're at, so.
Okay, any other questions?
Just with CN, when you guys met to discuss with them, did they share their management plan with you, or did you guys just have a discussion and ensure that they have a plan in place for weeds?
We basically met with them on a couple different subjects. That one on the weeds, we went over the areas where we knew we had prohibited noxious and another weed that we don't have here. And we went over that, and they said, no, we have a contractor in place, and they will be phoning him to come and take care of that. But that was on these specific sites. We didn't talk whole rail strategy. They do have a plan when they do their ballast, as you know, every so many years. We did mention the tansy, the toad flax, but that's on a bigger scale than the local guy here. The stuff we're identifying here, they're handling locally. The rest, you got to go higher up the chain, and it's a different process.
Okay.
Okay. Anybody else have anything?
How are you handling bear complaints?
handling what, Bill?
Bear complaints.
Basically, bear fall under Fish and Wildlife jurisdiction, and we generally refer them to Fish and Wildlife. They don't fall under any of our legislation for us to deal with. But we give them the numbers of the Fish and Wildlife and that when we do have them.
There's quite
We-
a few around.
Yeah,
Lots of
we've
black-
had lots around in
lots
the
of black
past.
bear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cubs are out running already.
Okay.
I'd tell you what we do with them, Bill, but probably not right.
Okay, anything else? Got a motion to approve the report, please?
Billy?
Thanks, Bill. All in favor? Opposed, carried. Okay, photo contest.
Do you sell all, or do you get rid of all 750 copies, or do you find that's too many?
I would consider maybe cutting back slightly, just because a lot more people are paying online now or paying a monthly payment. So it seems like there was a little bit left over, and I will try to move the timeline up a little bit earlier because some people were coming in to pay taxes and they weren't quite here yet, our usual delivery dates. So that could be a factor, but I would consider slightly fewer, but the quote came in just over 10 for the printing services. So kind of standard from the past years.
Okay, what's your wishes, folks?
I'll make a motion to go with number 1.
Okay. Any further discussion? All in favor? Opposed, then it's carried.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks, you too. Have a great day.
Oh, that's terrible coffee. What'd you put in it?
Cream and sugar.
You let him make your coffee?
How come it's all lumpy?
isn't it?
You get that tower fixed at Riverdale?
No, it wasn't on the weekend.
Still bent, or, yeah?
Contractor's out there today.
They're gonna try and get it up?
Probably have to replace it, section. Morning, gentlemen.
Probably have to replace the whole thing, but it's the stress pulling it.
I would think so.
Hmm.
Okay, we've got reports in front of you. Public Works. Anybody have any questions or comments on Preston's report?
So Preston, what did you find out in Gerald?
Okay, so myself and the driller went down, we did a walk around and a walk through, and there's some underlying conditions there with that situation where there's potentially some negative grade that comes up against the house, a couple cracks in the foundation, there's some issues with the troughing on the house. So nothing really definitive. I mean, it could be just a situation where just a little bit of a different issue with water in the basement there. I mean, I don't want to point and say that it's 100% on the homeowner, but it does seem to look like there's some issues with some of those things they could rectify, and then we can come back and take another look if it persists. But as far as the well goes, there's no issues with the well.
So
The
that
well is
line
solid.
from the well to the house, then you could determine it's not leaking either?
Yeah, for sure, because you can isolate the system and then wash the pressure gauge on the system.
And it's
And it doesn't budge, doesn't move. So that tells you that that line stays charged and there's nothing leaking back into the casing, nor is it leaking into the ground, so, yeah. And it was, I mean, it was very receptive from the homeowner back to us as well. It was, the communication was really good, the driller was really good to work with, and we all left there with an understanding that we'll watch this, monitor it, they're gonna try and do some changes, and, yeah, we'll just go forward from there. So. Actually, one other thing that I think just with timing, when I left on my holidays and stuff, I didn't get into my report that we'll have to look at going back for RFP on the one-ton
The
trucks.
patching crew has been working on the cement.
No, lunch.
And we'll have to go back into RFP for the one-ton trucks.
I saw that.
When I went to ask for the ordering of those trucks, there was a mistake in the pricing. It was a considerable mistake, and they couldn't honor that price. So, in retrospect to that, I also went back to talk to the other companies that submitted pricing, but there's, at some point in their systems, they go from 23s to 24s, and there's kind of a timeline there that they kind of locked out on pricing, so they couldn't guarantee those prices, so I thought I would just sit on it for a month and then come back and go for RFP again here for the one-ton.
So nobody could guarantee their prices after the fact?
No,
Okay,
not at that time, they didn't.
okay.
Because they're all switching over to 24s now, so.
So, okay.
And they were
That was only a
23s.
few weeks, right?
Well, yeah, but you gotta look at when I asked for the pricing too,
Oh,
right? So you
right.
got,
Yeah.
so then you're actually probably 4 weeks into it by the
Yeah.
time it comes to council, right?
Yeah, okay.
If that makes sense?
Fair enough.
Yeah. Otherwise that, right now, the crusher and the Hager pit's looking pretty good. We got about 40,000 up. They're just resetting the crusher, and they're gonna try and finish that off. Hopefully we make our numbers there. Looks like we're gonna be close. The Stasek pit's looking good. One thing that I'd just like to bring to council's attention is potentially we could have a little bit of material just sitting there extra in the pit after we meet our 32 commitment. We could also come in maybe a little bit shy, but my suggestion would be to evaluate that, and I mean, if we have 3 to 4 to 6,000 just sitting there, we should crush it all out, because it's tough to get a crusher to come back in and just finish that small amount of crush. I could crunch some numbers and send some emails out later, just to kind of let you know what those,
Okay.
that could look like, but if it's something that we should really consider
Okay.
to
so
finish,
what's-
then we're finished that side of the pit, right, and then
Yeah.
done with
So
it,
what's
right?
council's wishes? Do you want to crush it out while they're there?
Yeah.
I think so.
Everybody
Yeah.
good with that?
Yeah,
Okay.
assuming that it's a small amount, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
I mean, if we're
if
looking
it's
at
a-
12 or 15,
Yeah.
we'll pass that on to another crush, but I mean,
Even
that
12 or
6.
15 is still low enough.
Yeah, okay.
The
It's
move
just-
in, the move-in is
Yeah,
almost.
but it's the last crush coming out of that area. So if that, whatever's left, that'll be the last.
Yeah,
There won't be. going
that's on the
forward.
north side.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
When we finish this up, we'll be done that area,
That
and then
north
we
side.
can turn and start focusing on reclamation and hauling out.
Yeah,
That's on the government side, right?
No,
The north side?
north.
no, not this,
Or which
this is
side?
not a
No.
government pit.
Oh, up here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is in,
But there won't be that, yeah, well, we'll see. We'll see what the
Yeah.
numbers come out at, but,
Okay.
but we won't be, whatever we go back for, that'll be the last crush.
Yeah.
If we,
okay.
okay.
Yeah, makes sense. And then, just according to my report, I haven't got an update from SMS. I think my contact might be just away for a couple days, but the last information I got when I wrote the report was about that end of July, they'll be finishing our unit, which puts us right close to that cuff there with our coverage on our rental unit, right? So I'll monitor that. I'll keep you guys updated on that. If it looks like things are going to be earlier, that's great, no issues. But if we're going to have to extend that into August, we may have to look at using some of our contract equipment to keep the rental on site, just to give you a heads up.
Can you extend the rental on the other one if you need it?
Yeah, I can extend the rental, but the coverage from insurance is only goes so far, right? And then we'd be paying out of pocket for
okay.
the rest, is what I'm getting at.
Mm.
Yeah. Just to give you a heads up on
Yeah.
that.
So Preston, just curious, so they're pulling a tranny out of that now. Was that the original plan when they first looked at it?
You know what? Yeah, actually, if they said the power module's wet, it's got to go. That's kind of what they say, which I found was kind of interesting because in my time here, we've dropped units in some water and we've never pulled the power module. But and then those days they weren't covered under warranty either, right? So I guess when it's covered under warranty, this is the
Yeah,
direction to go.
they'll go the extra mile to make sure that
Yeah.
they cover
Yeah.
themselves.
And this unit's a little different than the old D6, or excuse me, the old D7, less electronics on the D7 back then too, right? So I'm not sure. I think the fact of the matter is to ensure full warranty, this is what they have to do.
City center asphalt still on schedule, there's no change there with the rain or anything?
You know, I
Still
haven't
coming?
talked to him since I've been back, but as far as I know, yeah, we're still on schedule. I will follow up and I'll send an email out to council and get you an update on what their schedule's looking like.
Well, weren't they going to pause till,
Yeah, it's
July
already
or
done.
They're on a
something.
phase break, so they're supposed to come July 4th.
oh, okay. yeah.
Right
Yeah.
after the long weekend. That was the schedule. So I'll confirm that schedule.
And
send
then
an
it's
email
fairly
out.
short after that.
So have they got the base course down?
Yep, yeah, base course is down and they got it covered with emulsified asphalt oil. So just sitting waiting for the
Paving.
top coat.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about the culverts? Are they done with them?
On 4th Avenue South?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's, they're inserts, so they can be done at any time in the project.
Oh, I see.
Probably what they've done is they've looked at scheduling those for like a September, just because the attitude is in September, the water level is always lower. But really there, that water is more of a storm water kind of surge. So, you know, it's up to them. But I will mention that to them when they come back, that to Graham, that they could look at that and make some decisions if they choose to do so. Yeah.
Okay.
The Green Shields Lagoon is going good,
Yes.
or did you want to hear those words?
Yeah, no, I'm good with however conversation or dialogue we want to go. You know, yeah, it was a little shaky at the start. I mean, we obviously had a meeting with WSP. We've changed a few directions, looked at a few different options for the sludge because of the overages. Now we've talked to the landowners. We've got the temporary storage site for sludge set up. We've determined what's considered contaminated clay in the cell now and what isn't. So we have that straightened out. And yeah, so now everything's set up and we're moving forward, and hopefully there's no more hiccups or hangups on the way through, but we have clear direction now. So now it's just a matter of working with some of the local landowners and trying to look at getting these macro and micronutrients set up to spread and get some of those permissions going forward, and that's kind of where we're at now.
So how big an area do you think it'll be?
Well, that I don't know for sure, Bill. I'm gonna, in all honesty, like when we first looked at it at 2,500 cubes, we were looking at a quarter section, which wasn't quite, well, there was some bush on there. So let's say there was about 120 acres available for spread. And they were saying we needed a little more land than that. So that's why we turned direction and went to the hall. So with that in mind, with the amount that we have there, we'll have to do the testing, and then we'll have to also do the soil testing on the land, right? The lighter soils require, or will only allow less spread. Heavier soils will allow more spread. So there's some of that. So some of it will be determined by what the testing of the soil comes back as. So on 160 acres, they require X amount of tests. So let's say it's 16 composite tests that you do. And then they go through the composite, and then they'll say, this soil or this land is allowed to accept X amount of cubic meters or tones of the sludge, and that's how they do it. Because they don't want to overload, right? That's a big part of it. They don't want it overloaded.
How big an area though are we going for stockpiling, I guess, is what I...
Oh, big area for stockpiling. Probably it's about 5,000 square meters.
So is that fenced then, or?
It's burned. It's burned.
Burned?
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. No, it's not fenced. No.
So the drainage runs, the
Well, we got
liquids run where?
So it drains back into the existing lagoon, and we have a geomembrane all set up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So is there a geomembrane under the sludge as well?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
the whole thing
That's a
slopes back
requirement
in. Yeah,
to
and
do
whole-
this
it's-
process, yeah.
The whole thing slopes back into
Yeah.
the lagoon, yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, anything else? Get a motion for Preston's report, please.
I'll make that.
Thanks, Robin. Any further discussion? All in favor? It's carried. Okay, safety.
Morning.
Okay, we've got Ray's report in front of us. Anybody have any questions or comments? So I hear they're fixing the tower today.
Yes, yeah, the crew wasn't there this morning when I was taking my river samples, but they will be there shortly. My groundskeeper on site will notify me when they do arrive. But yeah, a lot of people are going to be excited to see that older tower getting taken down and the new one being put back up. A little bit of an eyesore out there at the moment.
Yeah.
So Ray, I guess what I want from you is an update of the incident that happened out there when they were hauling gravel to our base site, when they contacted the sprayer.
Okay.
What has come out of that?
Right now, I haven't received the police file report. We received an email from the people looking after that job, and they have yet to obtain the police report. So, I mean, all I have is speculations at this time of what went wrong.
You want like a walkthrough of what happened?
Yeah, you probably could do that, would you?
Okay, I can give you the walkthrough. So the gravel truck was traveling west on Old 614 Township 462, and he was coming down a grade. The spray truck, or the spray unit, was probably, I would say, at least a half a mile ahead of him at that time. This operator decided to pass that spray unit. Obviously, he had very clear sight line. He could see for a long ways. So I think he used a little bit of that hill to catch some speed. At least that's what I would assume. As he got closer to the unit, I think he realized that this is a lot wider than he realized. And He went to the south side of the road, which would be the passing lane that he would take. He dropped his front axle over the edge of the road, which then, this is as he was right tight to the unit, he pulled it back onto the road, which then made the trailer, which is a wagon, it's not a pup, it's a wagon, so it means it has an axle in the front and an axle in the back, which then threw that wagon into for lack of a better description, the tail wagging the dog, if that makes sense?
Mm-hmm.
Right, which then started pushing the truck unit, where the truck unit struck the back tire on the sprayer, which then spun it around, and the truck started heading north into the ditch. The sprayer came around and then contacted the wagon, which then ripped the axle, the front axle of the wagon, right out underneath the wagon. The truck still continued going north, pulled the other tire off of the sprayer, and then the sprayer tumbled over 180 onto the roof, and the wagon and the sprayer slid down the road. That's the description of the incident as I understand it. So Central City has done their incident report. I'm not sure if they've got their incident report back from the company that running the truck, whether they'll get one or not. And there is a police report, which we have requested from Rohi, who's our representative, has not received it from Central City yet. So I would assume that if we need that police report, we should be able to go down to the local detachment and ask for it. Right?
So that, there's a different company hauling the gravel for Central City.
Yes, it's a contract company.
Yeah, contract company.
Yeah.
And then they've done their due diligence in their report, but if we haven't got ours from Central City, is that what I understand?
No, we have, we have a report from Central City? Yeah, we do have a report from Central City. We don't have the police report. And I don't believe we got a report from, Central City didn't get a report from the trucking company. I don't believe they gave them a report, but we do have one
So
from.
that's not
from our
much of a
contract.
report without that trucking company's you got basically nothing.
Is the police report will give us the other side of the conversation, yeah.
So are they hauling the base course for us? Or is that?
They were hauling base course for Central City, which
Yeah.
is working for us,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that is a very serious incident.
Yeah,
That
absolutely it is.
A lot of
Yeah.
people might have been killed in that incident, but
Mhm.
this sprayer guy just seems to be able to
He's-
handle it, I guess.
He's flexible.
He's flexible, and that's a darn good thing, because it was really, really serious.
And it was very fortunate how everything ended up.
Yeah,
in the end.
indeed.
So,
So did you get a report from the sprayer guy? The only thing I was wondering, was his tires sucked in?
What's his what?
Tires sucked in. I mean, your tires go in and out.
I don't know, I gotta, I
Like
don't
I
know.
got from
I
that-
didn't know that until after you'd mentioned that to me, so I didn't know for sure how wide he would have been on the road.
Some guys forget, and
Yeah.
then they are over the yellow line, and that's what I heard the trucker saying,
Hmm.
that those tires were over the yellow line, well, whether they were or they weren't, I mean, you could be able to see that from a distance.
So, yeah, we'll have to go, probably Ray, I think would be a good idea, we contact the local department and see if we can get some more information.
So Ray, then, so you have a contractor, Central City, so and you talk to them about safety, do you talk to this other company?
No. Nope.
Well,
we
should
go-
that be something
well,
we should
that's a
do?
prime contractor responsibility, so when Central City signs off as prime contractors, their responsibility to handle the safety on the site. It's our responsibility to work with Central City to understand that they are communicating that to the contractors.
He's still doing the work for us, though, and I
Yeah.
think-
We don't have any conversations with the subcontractors, we're not a prime contractor. We just have our conversations with the
Okay.
Okay, anything else anybody has?
Just to be clear, they still have to meet our safety.
Yes, absolutely, yep.
Okay, anything else under Parks and Recs? Not gonna get a motion for Ray's report?
I'll make that.
Thanks, Mike. Any further discussion? All in favor? It's carried. Okay, purchase of divisional grader. No.
Okay, so went out for pricing for a divisional grader, just based on information from the suppliers that there's approximately an 8-month lead time right now to receive new graders. Contrary to what's in the background, apparently one supplier could have a grader available in this fiscal year, but in conversation with him after the fact, when I got back, that's not what we're looking for. We're looking for a 2024 capital
Yeah.
purchase. So I realize the background does say the grader would be delivered in 2023, but that's not the case. We would request delivery for 2024. We'd be looking at probably a March delivery or an April delivery for this grader to fit into our fleet. This
Okay.
grader would be replacing the Division 6 grader.
Which is what? John Deere or Cat?
Right now,
Yeah,
currently is the John Deere grader.
so that's what we're trading in.
Yes.
So if it comes in March, will it still be warranty on the old one?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
What are the difference in the specs between these two, between the Cat and the John Deere?
There's a small difference in weight. Total horsepower is pretty close to the same. To be honest, I've really only ever been exposed to John Deere graders since I started here. It's been kind of capitalized on our market. I have heard that the Cat graders do perform well on horsepower and seem to do well that way on torque. Other side of the coin is we have been running the John Deeres. We've been very successful with the John Deeres, so I don't have any issues with them as well. But price point, historically, the Cats have always been quite a bit higher.
Okay, what's your wishes, folks?
I'll make motion, we buy the brand.
Okay. Any further discussion? All in favor? Opposed, nays, carried. Okay, salt supply.
Not a lot to choose from, huh?
So to culminate our 2023-2024 season, I put out an RFP for supply of salt. Following is the results of one supplier, this time NSC Minerals. This is the supplier we have been using for the last X amount of years.
They're out of Saskatchewan, right?
Yeah, they're out of Saskatoon area, that is correct.
So
So
compared to
this
last.
is, this
oh,
is FOB Wainwright as well.
Compared to last year, how's the price difference?
It's a little bit higher on the tonnage and a little bit lower on the fuel surcharge.
2.1%.
2.1% higher.
Not bad at all, then.
We use all the salt, Preston? You got no reserve? What's that?
Oh, yeah, no, I don't keep any salt on hand. Yeah, the only salt I'd keep on hand would be what would be in our, I guess, our bunker that we would use to heat up our loads. But no, I mean, at the most, I would have 42 ton, probably. That'd be the most I'd ever have on hand usually. A fresh load dropped into the bunker, and we usually fill the bunker when it's pretty close to being empty. Yeah.
Okay, we'll need a motion.
I'll move.
Richard, any further discussion? All in favor? Opposed, it's carried.
And that's
Okay.
mostly because we don't have the capacity to keep the salt. And longer, sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but just to give you a little bit of background. Having that salt in our shed all summer long, by the time September, October comes around, it's like a brick. And then you have to really work it and mash it down to break it all up again, because it absorbs the moisture in the humidity days and then dries out in the hot days. And it's like cement. It's really nasty to work with. So we have to really try and keep as little as possible over the summertime.
We can mill that up with the rotavator though, right?
Yeah, you can get the summer students to smash it with hammers too. But we usually just use the loader and just drive over it with the wheels.
Okay, distribution pump for Green Shields.
Okay, so this is something we discussed at our planning meeting to avoid supply chain issues with another distribution pump. We're sitting in a position where we have 4 pumps, 3 have all been replaced. We're sitting on one that's been pushing the limits, I guess, in some ways, because it hasn't had any issues yet, but it's the next one to go. So the idea would be to purchase this pump and keep it in storage, and then when that pump goes, it's a quick turnaround to get it back into the system.
I'll make a motion, we get a pump.
Okay. Any further discussion? All in favor? Opposed, carried. Okay, replacement of PLC.
This is a budget item that we looked at in actually 2022, and then we looked at just doing the one system, seeing how it worked out, and then bring it back to planning for 2023. So in 2023, I brought it back in the planning meeting. We had the system replaced in Fabian, and the last system to be done would be Green Shields. And the reasons why we're looking at replacing the system is the system we have in Green Shields now, which we did have in Fabian, is antiquated. Parts are not readily available, and when things break down, it's you're scrambling looking for what you can do to fix it to keep it running. So with that in mind, we did do the one in Fabian. It has been running good. There's been no issues with it. So to move into Green Shields, we're looking at doing the same system in Green Shields and keeping them identical.
Okay.
As long as you're happy with Fabian, I'll make a motion, you go forward with.
Yeah, it seems to be working well, so I have no issues with it.
Okay. Any further discussion on Robin's motion? All in favor? Opposed, carried. Okay, recreation. Tie-in clubhouse to water disinfectant shack.
So yeah, we discussed this at planning and budget as well. So essentially what it is the tie-in the clubhouse well to the disinfection shack that we put up in 2020. By doing so, Riverdale will achieve a more accurate and even water disinfection process. Also provide backup water supply if either well were to go down. And then we had 6 contractors contacted to come on to an on-site walkthrough. 3 showed up, and these are the prices that are in front of you to achieve this.
Okay, what's your wishes, folks?
I'll make a motion, we go with number 1.
Okay. Any further discussion? All in favor? Carried. Okay, Arm Lake Shelter repairs.
So again, during planning and budget, we were talking about putting some money toward some repairs for some group shelters out at Arm Lake. We looked at 2 of them that were in the worst condition. One of them didn't have a concrete floor or any kind of a subfloor, to be honest with you. It was just dirt. So again, we contacted about 6 contractors, 4 showed up, and only 1 actually provided a price. We made it look, we went to group site 6, which is the newest one, and we kind of used that as a model of what we'd like to see at these other group shelters. And for these 2, all the description right there in the background, what it comes with, including a 4-inch concrete pad on Site E. Red Fox Builders was the only one to produce a price, and that's the price that was put out in front.
Are they used, Ray?
They are. Yeah, they're used quite a bit.
Is that 2 of them?
This is for 2 of them, yes, including, mind you, there's some roof structural damage, so there's going to be some replacements of some king posts on the trusses, and also a concrete pad for one of them. So this is why the number is the way that it is.
Were they both in the budget?
So I believe we put, I think it was $27,000 was aside for repairs.
23, right?
Was it 23? Sorry, 23,000 was put aside for repairs during planning. This is to have a contractor come in. Our goals was to possibly do 2 this year. The next year, look into additional number 2. eventually get them all looking a lot better. They are in need for major repairs.
Where's Red Fox from?
South of town.
Their town?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I'll make that motion, then we go ahead and with that proposal and with hiring Red Fox Builders.
Okay, any more discussion? All in favor? Carried. Okay, cell booster Riverdale.
So as we discussed, the contractor is out on site right now, but they are prepared to install a booster, which is priced out here, if council approves it. So basically, here's an opportunity with the tower being down and with the contractor on site to get a booster, a cell phone booster installed. Just to be clear, it will not be a booster to service the entire park. This is a booster just to increase the service in and around the clubhouse. How far, we're not sure. It could be 100 feet, could be 200 feet. But that's what the system is designed to do.
So right now, then that won't work, your cell phone won't work probably anywhere down there.
It's intermittent right now. I mean, if you stand with one leg in the air and one whatever hand up, and you might get cell service,
get a signal.
depending on the day. But yeah, this should. There's no guarantees. I want to be clear on that. But you know, it's going to be. Hopefully, I can make the statement it's going to be better than it was before.
Okay, what's your wishes, folks?
I'll make that motion, Bob.
Okay, Oscar moves, we put the booster in down there. Any further discussion? All in favor? Opposed, that's carried. Okay, anything else from these fine gentlemen?
Thought I'd just give council an update. The patching truck we ordered in 2022 looks like it's about 5 days out from arriving in Edmonton to be retrofitted with the box. So I'll keep you updated on that, but it's probably within about a 3-week delivery. So that's that commercial international CV.
Okay, good.
Just give you an
Good.
update.
Perfect.
I need it soon.
Oh, and our schedule for cementing, it has been on schedule up until we had that rain on Sunday. So as per my report, I was saying about June 19th, we'd be heading into Range Road 6-1, and we would have been there yesterday, just a little too much moisture. And just based on the forecast for today, they held off today as well. Of course, the road top is a little bit muddy too, so they're just trying to shape it and just trying to firm it back up yet before they get into it. They don't want it too wet when they're cementing as well. But depending on what happens today, we should be at it again tomorrow. Rolling along. Things have been going as per schedule for cementing, so that's good.
Are you gonna fog seal in?
We're
They held off.
yeah, fog seal was kind of started there. This rain has held them off a little bit, so
Do
I'll
we have
be
to
talking.
send out another notice that it's been delayed or anything, or just?
No, I don't think
go with
so.
it?
No,
Okay.
we won't need to send a notice.
Okay.
We'll get a confirmation when we're going into the south here, where it's a little bit more busier, and we'll put a notice out and give everybody an update on that.
Thank you.
Yeah, for sure.
Have you got any clarification while you're still here yet on the bus incident going around our roadblock for cement?
Okay. Well, I don't know about clarification, but I can tell you the events. So, communicated with, actually when we first started on cementing, and I will take this on my shoulders, I did miss informing Buffalo Trail School Division. So I did get a question, and I did actually miss giving that information to Buffalo Trail. So on the response to that, I did apologize for not giving them an update on our cementing schedule. That was on Range Road 8-3. So I updated the process of what was happening on Range Road 8-3. Then I went into and gave them the dates for when we would be on the Church Road, give them the time of construction for that, and then I gave them the dates for when we'd be on Range Road 6-1 based on if there's going to be any delays. So with that, that information, my understanding, according to the Buffalo Trail School Division, was passed along to the bus drivers for those areas. And then we did have, I think it was about, I guess it would be a week ago, so around the 14th or the 13th of June, on the Church Road, we had a We had an incident in the morning where the bus went around the sign in the barricade, and with the operator waving to stop the bus, and the bus just continued on through and drove through the cement job. That's the best I can give you, really. I don't know the other side of the story.
So then Buffalo Trails, it's their responsibility probably to contact
Oh, for sure.
the
yeah.
family as well to let them know that the bus can't go down that road.
Yeah, I can't say for sure what their policies are, but, I mean, you would think they would have to figure that out, yes? Yeah, so if it's their responsibility, or they leave that onto the bus driver, or how they communicate that to the family, I don't know, but, I mean, it's our responsibility to let them know what's going on with construction, and then they take it from there and
So did
figure
we
it out.
talk to the bus driver to even see if they were forewarned or from Buffalo Trails?
No, I have not talked to the bus driver myself, no. I don't have the bus driver information, and unless I really had to, I wasn't gonna talk to the bus driver. I mean, I'm trying to work through just with administration on Buffalo
Probably the
Trail.
way to do it, work through their people, don't get involved with their employees, I would say.
That's how they want it too. On ours, it has to go through administration, they send it back out to the buses. Even though sometimes the bus driver doesn't like it because then they gotta go all the way around, eh?
Well, in this case, there was no going around.
There was what?
There's no going around. I mean, that family would have to take their child somewhere
Yeah.
to get on the bus, and that should have been, I mean, you wondered if Buffalo Trails, that's the only thing, I was wondering if Buffalo Trails even warned the driver.
Yeah, and
You know, obviously, if they thought there was no other way but to go around that barricade to pick the child up, but I don't know.
Once the barricade's up, the bus should have never went around it, Bill. They should have made a call right then.
When it went
Which
around.
is none of our business because that's their employee, but
Yeah.
we deal with them guys quite a bit, and they're notified by email as soon as Preston goes through. Our bus drivers are notified, and then the phone rings and they wanna know why they can't use it, because they can go around. And,
I would-
you know,
yeah. I can't really assume, but, I mean, given the area that's closed, and from there, they should be able to determine the next
Yeah.
route that the bus should be taken, and they should be sharing that information with the bus, I would assume, but I don't know how they have it
Yeah.
there. So, but the information did get across to Buffalo Trails.
Okay. Okay, anything else? Okay, thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Okay, accounts are there for your perusal. Anybody have any questions or comments? None, the motion to approve them is
Billy.
presented. Thanks, Bill. Any further discussion? All in favor? Carried. Financial statements, there for your perusal. Motion to approve it as presented by administration.
Yeah, I'll make that.
All right, Mike. Thank you. Any further discussion? All in favor? Carried. Okay, reserves are there.
So the reserves and that figure that you got there, there's still a top up to go in there for Wainwright? Am I,
The top-up actually has one in there, but
so that is with
the
the
current
top up?
levy has not. The current taxes have not been applied yet, so there's been,
Oh, okay.
yeah, so the 2023 amount has not been allocated there
Okay,
Well, that's good.
for any of it.
because it still seems fairly low, that's why I was wondering.
Yeah.
That's right, yeah.
did we get our MSI funding yet? Or no?
No, we have not received MSI yet.
And the trucks come out, right? The payment for the trucks
Yes.
come out?
Okay, any other questions? Okay, audit fees.
So, yeah, we're up again now for another 3-year. Typically, we do a 3-year quote. So we had 2020 to 2022, that's now expired. So we're looking for 23 to 25.
So these prices include the 3 years?
That'd be per year.
That would be, per year?
Per
Oh, I
year,
see,
yeah.
okay.
So what was the previous quote? You know, per year. I want to know just how much we've gone up.
The quote is the same as it was previously. It hasn't increased.
Oh, is that right?
It just
Okay.
increases with the cost of living allowance.
Whatever,
Okay.
whatever increases happens here, they get the same thing.
Yeah, so
Oh, I
that's
see. Yeah, that's
kind of
right.
they're tied to inflation, I guess.
Oh, yeah, they're
Oh, yeah.
tied. They're tied to what we do on inflation.
Right.
I did not know that.
And that's how the previous 3-year quote
Yeah, the
was
contract
structured.
is the same.
Yeah. I'll make that motion that we
Okay,
accept number 1.
Okay, so the actual, okay, go ahead. The fee would be around 25,000. If we say it's between 22 and 28,
yeah,
it'd be around
well,
25.
it's gonna fluctuate
It's
every
going,
year,
yeah.
as long as council's aware. Okay, any more discussion on Bruce's motion? All in favor? Okay. All righty. The administration. Anybody have any questions or comments on? Not on RFD for a new person for the Irma Rec Board.
Yeah, so, oh, can you hear me? Yeah, so the one Irma representative has come off the board and Irma requires another representative as per our agreement. One name was put forward in the RFD for council's consideration.
Okay, motion?
I'll make the motion that we go ahead and appoint Amber Tombleson on the board. If
Okay.
she's willing to accept.
Okay, any further discussion? All in favor? Okay. So you'll let her know she's got a meeting tomorrow night?
Yeah, I just saw that, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, contacts. They're there for your perusal. Member bulletins. I guess we might as well go into, let me take a look here, huh? Yeah, okay, we might as well.
What's he doing?
We're gonna go into development.
Yeah, okay. Did I miss anything
Hmm?
at the MPC meeting?
Yes, quite a bit, Bruce. but-
Busy
Yeah,
days.
I wasn't there either. We were here a day and a half.
Hmm?
Holy Hannah.
It felt like it.
Yeah.
Well, it just was a
I
longer
feel bad
meeting
for
when
you.
when the deputy chair just took longer
Who is
to
the deputy
go through
chair?
stuff, I guess.
The guy that talks a
Oh,
lot.
Mike.
Yeah.
Morning, Kim.
Okay, development. Kim. The report is in front of you. Anybody got any questions or comments? Need a motion to approve it.
I will.
Thanks, Richard. Any further discussion? All in favor? Opposed, carried. Okay, I see we got to do some work on some gravel pits, eh?
Yeah, so it's just for the liability on the reclamation of the pits. We have to start reporting that in our financial statement. So we've gotten a quote from one of the companies that can do this, and so I
Okay.
guess I'm just asking if we can move forward with it.
Okay, well, we got to have it done. It says it's required, so.
I'll make a motion.
Okay, for option one?
Yeah.
Okay, thanks, Oscar. Any further discussion? All in favor? Opposed, carried. Okay, thanks, Kim.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll just back up a little bit. Number, go to a fire ban for protection of persons and properties. Fire ban was brought forward, so what's your wishes or what's your thoughts? Whoever brought it forward, I don't know who brought it forward.
I brought it forward, but I know nothing. I had a couple of ratepayers phone me about burning. One was a house and then making smudges for his horses.
Oh, okay.
So he didn't know where it fell, and I'd been gone, so I thought
Yeah.
I'll just bring it forward and see
Okay.
what the plan is.
Okay, well, what's your thoughts, people? We've had some rain, you wanna lift them, or?
Have we had enough, or I don't know?
Don't know.
We have had rain, Bruce, but the way I look at it, I mean, you look and see green growth, but there's a lot of dead, dry stuff underneath
Oh,
there.
okay.
And we did change it, you can have fire pit, you can have, we took,
Oh,
we turned
campfires?
it to a restriction instead of a ban.
Okay.
So you're allowed to have fire pits and stuff like that, as long as they're not
So
open.
if we open up fire permits,
Well, then you take the ban off.
you can't keep it for specific to like
Not very
where
easy.
there's
No,
inspection needed or something like that?
No, we've just either had a ban or not ban.
Yeah.
It's pretty tough if, you know, if we want to leave it on, we leave it on. Take it off, it's up to you
Yeah,
guys.
I don't know. I mean, it's close. It's close if you had this rain.
Yeah, I have a fire index for the province, but for some reason it won't come up.
Yeah. Well, I know the north is getting flooded now, so,
Yeah.
but, it's up, I mean, it is greener, there's no doubt about that.
Yeah, no, I know that, and I guess I have, that's the only concern I have, but I mean, I'm all right with taking it off too, if you want to remove
Well,
it.
most of the crop areas, they're all
Yeah, they're
coming up
covered.
now, so the
They're
stubble's
covered.
gone.
Yeah, that's what my concern was last time, it's a lot of,
Yeah.
no loss, but it's greened up now, so. It's whatever you
So you want
folks
to drop the fire ban in order to...
Well, yeah, I just thought I'd bring it up for discussion because I've been gone and I didn't know what was happening here, so I thought it's just easier to bring it up and see what everybody thinks about it.
Yeah, I know I'm all right with that if that's...
Could we leave it till next month? Because it's supposed to be dry for the next 10 days. And then you're putting it back on, at least give it a chance to see what direction it's headed. I don't care either way, but I mean, I think it's a little bit premature.
Especially if he's burning a house, maybe that's...
No, it's just in a pit.
It's in a pit.
Oh, it's in a pit.
But them
Oh.
flames will be 40 feet high and
Yeah.
Well, looking at the pit, there's not much that's going to burn,
Yeah.
so.
God gives him the question of why he can't if he's in a controlled pit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
well, we've
summer,
had-
fall all around
We've
it.
had that before, though.
Yeah.
Guys wanted to burn in pits, we wouldn't allow it until the ban come off. So you're-
even the Hutterites.
Yeah, I know, my
I
colony
do
there,
think
they
it's
have
premature though, 'cause
burning
it's supposed to get really hot. next week.
incinerators and that.
Yeah.
Cement
Yeah.
pads around.
So I'm
it
not
and-
really in favor of it, but
Yeah, I think it might not hurt to wait, because it is supposed to get warm next, but by this weekend, it's supposed to be up to high 20s.
We can make that probably... When can we make it? MPC? then?
Well, that'd be the quickest, that'd be the quickest we could do it, and we could, I mean, that's 2 weeks away, so
Yeah.
that might be better.
Okay.
That might give us a little better indication, if everybody's okay with that? Okay.
Okay. Yeah, good.
Policeman showed up yet? Okay, approval of the pay sheet.
Billy?
Thanks, Bill. Any further discussion? All in favor? Opposed, carried. Okay, committee reports. They had a meeting I wasn't able to attend. I was tied up in another one, so I'm not exactly sure, but I'll see what I can find out for you. Edgerton.
Their cleaning was down a little from last year, and they figured lots of people, some people had bought seed rather than clean their own.
Oh, okay.
And they are now selling Go for Poison. They got the license and everything, so
Oh, okay.
They have it in stock, so.
So that's that oak bait?
Yeah, it's an oak bait, yeah. Yeah.
Is it working pretty good, Bill?
Yeah,
Do you
it
think?
does.
Some guys say it does. I
Yeah.
haven't used it myself, but yeah.
The first time they'll clean out the little teeth, the second
Yeah.
time,
But
usually,
Oh, you have to multiple bait them?
no, it's a single feed.
Is it?
yeah.
Yeah. It probably would have worked better before the rain. Now that everything's coming green again, they're gonna be chewing on green grass instead of the bait.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, anything else?
No.
Okay, FCS?
They celebrated their 50th anniversary. It was well attended, and they thanked us for the plaque that we'd given them and everything. It was quite nice. Recently went to the regional meeting in Vermilion on June 14th. They talked about regional strategies for homelessness and addictions and wanting to stay on the same pattern of dialogue between all regions when dealing with people that are transient and move around in that regard. And that was it.
Okay, foundation?
I think everything's going pretty good. We got the air conditioner in the kitchen, and I don't know if too much else happening. Do you?
4 new walk-in showers are done. They're not quite complete, but they're in.
Yeah, they're not done yet, so.
Finishing touches. Open house.
They're in progress, I guess,
Your open house is on the 22nd.
on Thursday, yeah.
How is your occupancy load?
Come look for a room, Bill. Lovely room.
I think we're still around 81.
You're around what?
81.
So it's gone up a bit.
Not so good. But
Not so good, no.
It holds, and then
Well, that's over your break-even point, is it not?
no more.
No?
If he puts another carbon tax on, it'll be a long ways from, we'll have to have 98 in there, break even. Anyways, we'll deal with that when it comes.
Okay, landfill?
The fence is going up right now. We're continuing the cleanup of the museum. Chauvin Museum is spoke for 4 cars, I believe.
Yep, they're gone.
They're gone. And we are having an issue getting our recycled oil moved to the site. So just contractor issues, just timing more so than anything, and being able to get a contractor to come in and move it. So I'm not sure where that's at right now.
They were sending the staff up to clean it out, I believe, end of last week, and then they're going to get a steamer in. And then hopefully the contractor can get it down here by next couple of weeks is what we're looking for.
Yeah. And other than that, business as usual.
So what's the process, Mike, in bringing your used oil there? Can you bring a tote, a 5-gallon pail, or a quart, or what are we looking at?
I don't know if we set an exact, drums won't be allowed.
Drums won't be allowed?
Yeah.
I mean, you just can't handle them, or what can you handle? Can you
That's
handle
more the 5-gallon stuff, the smaller stuff that an individual.
Probably 20-liter pails and under.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
It's that one that's sitting at Irma, Ron Dempsey's.
Oh, yeah.
They
We're
got
moving
that.
that over.
Yeah.
They're
Oh,
moving
yeah.
that here.
Ron couldn't do it anymore?
Well,
or
no,
just-
because they took the grant away from it, and they
Oh.
took the pickup away and everything else. So,
Oh,
so we got the building, and we're going to set it up here. And
oh, okay.
so we just got to get the tanks, like there's big tanks inside.
Yeah.
So I got to get it all steamed out, and then so we can move it. And they got a contractor lined up to move it, so
Then what happens to that used oil, you know?
hauled away.
It gets hauled away.
To what?
There used to be a couple different, Little Dipper
Yeah.
used to come and grab it, and I believe there's another company, I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but they'll.
And then reuse it.
Yeah, it's reused. Well, there's a program through Alberta Recycling, used oil program. So they pick it up, and the biggest thing is no contaminants. Don't want antifreeze in it. That contaminates the whole thing. So, and they are looking at a antifreeze program, but that hasn't arrived yet. So, okay, anything else? 911.
That's, the meeting's Wednesday.
Wednesday, okay.
Yeah.
Community Health Foundation.
Oh, we had our last meeting of the year. We're off for the summer, July and August. We as well had our organizational meeting, and there's a new chair of the Wainwright District Community Health Foundation, chairperson, Deanna Waddell.
Oh, okay.
I've heard she's nice.
You had to say that, eh?
She was conned into it.
Oh, well.
Yeah, no, she has been vice chair for a number of years. And
Yeah. Well, I think,
well deserving of the chair's position.
yeah, well, I think on behalf of council over the years that you were chair, you deserve a lot of recognition and a lot of good work that you did for bringing what you brought to Wainwright. I know I was part of it, and you provided really good leadership to the communities, and thank you for your time and involvement. I know you put a lot of time into it, so
Thanks,
thank
Bob.
you. Okay, Northern Lights.
Went to a
Billy.
meeting June 9th in Elk Point. It was in person this time. Lots of debate about changing to the new census. They were using 2016 numbers. There were quite a few communities wanted to stay the same because it affects their fees, and so the vote was taken and we moved to the 2019 census numbers, and not everybody was thrilled, but I guess that's the way we voted. So you will get an intermittent bill coming. Discussed how to charge that out when it changed to those new numbers. For certain communities, it added a little bit to your levy. So those notices were going to go out shortly.
Intern bill. Okay, anything else?
I think that was it.
Okay, Economic Development.
I didn't go.
Okay, could I get a motion to approve the
I'll do that.
report? Thanks, Robin. All in favor? Opposed, carried. Okay, can we do a motion to recess right now? Or do we have to wait till after we come back, right before the public hearing? Could I get a motion to recess the regular council meeting, please?
Billy.
Moved by Bill, all in favor? Opposed, carried. That's one last thing I have. Okay, I would like to call the meeting to order. Okay, bylaw number 1694, purpose of the public hearing. The purpose of the public hearing is to hear testimony and the act relating to the proposed bylaw 1694, a bylaw of the Municipal District of Wainwright number 61 in the province of Alberta for the purpose of repealing bylaw number 1319 and adopting a municipal development plan for the Municipal District of Wainwright number 61. Are there any written submissions? No. Does anybody have any oral submissions? Moving on to bylaw number 1695. The purpose of the public hearing. The purpose of this hearing is to hear the testimony and act relating to proposed bylaw number 1695, a bylaw of the Municipal District of Wainwright number 61 and the province of Alberta for the purpose of repealing bylaw number 1318 and adopting a land use bylaw for the Municipal District of Wainwright number 61. Are there any written submissions?
Yes, there was one. From one of the properties that got rezoned for the from agriculture to country residential, or sorry, country residential to agriculture. So Ken Tiers, his property was rezoned from country residential to controlled urban, which is because he is within the IDP area of the village of Irma. So he just had concerns about how this would affect his property, and he just wanted confirmation that the rezoning will still allow him to keep livestock on his property, and that it would not affect his property taxes. He just asked that his comments be noted during the public hearing.
Okay. Is there any oral submissions? Hearing none, motion to adjourn.
Billy.
Bruce, all in favor? Carried. Well, thanks everyone. And for those people listening in, I'd like to thank everybody that contributed, went to our open houses. This was a long process, but I believe it was a good process. There's a lot of work done by our staff that needs to be recognized, and also by council. But our big thanks go out to the public for attending all the open houses and giving their input. Through their input, we have developed a bylaw that will take us forward into the future. So thank you very much. Motion to resume the regular council meeting minutes.
Yep.
Moved by Mike. Any more discussion? All in favor? Carried. Okay. Bylaw number 1694. Need a motion. Okay. Bylaw number 1694, need a motion to approve the second reading. Moved by Bill. Any further discussion? All in favor? Oh, it's carried. Third and final reading, moved by Bruce. All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Okay, bylaw number 1695, as we said in the public hearing. Need a motion to read it for the second time. I will. By Richard, all in favor? That's carried. Motion to read for the third and final time by Oscar, all in favor? Opposed? Carried. Okay. Perfect. Thanks
Kim,
everybody.
for all your hard
Now we
work.
need a motion to go in camera,
That was
I do
lots.
believe.
That was lots.
Thanks.